Now, here's the thing. Most businesses, they don't have that. They have just a link. Behind that link, there's nothing. No confirmation, no reminder, no context, it's literally just a prayer that the person shows up. And then they wonder why half their calendar is like ghost town. The average no-show rate for businesses without a reminder system is 20 to 30%. Huge. That means for every 10 calls you book, 2 to 3 people don't show up. Now let's say you're booking 20 calls a month. At a 25% no-show rate, that's 5 calls that don't happen. 5! If even one of those calls would have converted to a sale, and your average sale is $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, you do the math. So you don't have a lead problem. You have a show-up problem. And your show-up problem, it's a system problem. And systems, my friend, those can be fixed. All right, so I gotta tell you what happened on our Tuesday call last week, all right? A woman, brand new lead, first time on a call with us, and within the first couple minutes, she already was talking about her business goals. She had already telling us what was working and showed up ready, not confused, not, wait, what was this call about? Not scrolling through her email, trying to figure out who we were. She was ready, right? And I remember sitting there and thinking, she doesn't know it, but the system already did the work because she never got on that call. Before she got on that call, she got the confirmation email within 60 seconds of booking the call, right? She got a text message right after. She got a reminder the next day. She got another one 2 hours before the call. And in between all of that, she got a short video from us explaining exactly what to expect and what to bring to the call. So by the time she showed up, she already had trusted us. She already felt taken care of. And honestly, she was already halfway sold, not because of some slick pitch, but because the experience was professional from the jump. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Most businesses, they don't have that. They have just a link. And maybe it's on their website, maybe it's on their Instagram bio, maybe it's them DMing it to the people one by one manually. And behind that link, there's nothing. No confirmation, no reminder, no context, it's literally just a prayer that the person shows up. And then they wonder why half their calendar is like ghost town. And that's what we're going to fix today. So I want to welcome you back to the Digital Shift. I'm Natasha Roberson, and if this is your first time here, welcome. You are in the right place, my friend. This is the podcast where we talk about real systems behind running a digital business, not the theory, all right? Not the fluff, the actual builds, the actual automations, the actual setup that your business will run without you babysitting it every single step, all right? So today is a mechanic kind of episode. That means we're getting under the hood, and I'm going to walk you through the exact calendar and booking setup inside GoHighLevel that will cut your no-show rate dramatically. And I'm talking like 20 to 30% down to under 10% no-show. Using a simple system you can set up once and never have to think about it again. So let's get into it. But before we build anything, you need to understand the difference between having a link and having a system. Not because people think they've got their booking handled, because listen, and I also want you to think what they actually have is one of most people that think they have their booking system handled. They have 3 broken setups, really. That's typically what I see is 3 broken setups here. So the first setup I see broken often is the disconnected Calendly. You've got a Calendly link and it's not connected to your CRM. Okay. So every time someone books, you manually are copying their info over into your CRM. You don't know if they are a new lead or an existing contact. You're doing double the work and you don't even realize it, right? And then the second broken setup that I see a lot is manual DMing scheduling. Okay. Someone reaches out to you and you go back and forth. What time works for you? How about Tuesday? Actually, Wednesday's better. Oh, how about this time? I think that's no, that doesn't work, right? And guess what? That's a pain. And a lot of times people just move on. You lost them to 3 days of text messaging back and forth and tag you're it, right? And the third broken system setup that we see a lot is the naked website link. You've got a booking page on your website. Great. I love that for you. But there's no follow up attached to it. No confirmation, no reminder, no pre call content, right? The person books and then hears absolutely nothing from you until the call, if they remember it's happening, right? So I had a client who came to us using, I think, 14 different tools. 14. Calendar here, CRM there, emails over here, text messages happening over there, texting from the personal phone, right? Nothing was talking to each other. And he was spending more time managing his tools than actually coaching his clients. And here's the real cost, okay? When you're running one of these broken setups, you're not just losing time, you're losing money. Every no-show is a slot you could have filled. It's a lead that went cold, right? It's the revenue that walked out the door because your system didn't hold their hand from booking to showing up. So, how about we fix that today? All right. I'm not going to open up GHL, but I'm going to talk you through a lot of things. And I think if you are savvy in GHL, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, yes, I need to do that. And if you're like, I need my handheld, I'm going to show you how you can get connected with us. And I show you exactly step by step. You share your screen and bam, we get this thing all built together. But I want to work on this, right? We're going to go into the build. And so step one is you're going to build the calendar and booking page inside your GHL, nowhere else. One place inside your GHL. So first thing you need to do is pick the right calendar type for what you're doing, right? GHL gives you a few different options, which is amazing. And if you're doing one-on-one calls, like discovery calls, strategy sessions, coaching calls, you can use a simple calendar, like personal booking, or a round robin if there's a couple of you that take the same one. It's like round robin, right? If you have a team and you want leads distributed even, definitely pick the round ribbon or the round robin. Oh my goodness. If it's just, you just need the simple calendar, okay? The personal calendar. It works absolutely perfect. And that's what we use most of the time, unless there is a round robin situation. So if you're running group calls though, like webinars, workshops, group coaching, you want to use what's called the class booking or a collective calendar. The key is matching the calendar type to the experience that you want that person to have. So that is critical, is picking the right one. And when you go to GHL, it'll explain all of those if you need a little bit more description on those. But next is your availability window. And this is where a lot of people actually mess this up. And they don't actually set their availability to their specific times. It's like whenever. So I need you to be intentional. I need you to block out specific days and times for these specific calls. And I recommend batching your calls. So maybe on Tuesdays and Thursdays from like 10 to 2, for example, you might do discovery calls. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 6, you're doing strategy calls, or maybe vice versa, right? When is your on time that you need to be like at your best for that type of call? Block those type of times out. So it's not any time you're available. It's like your bang time for that style of call you need to have. Okay. And that allows you to get in the zone, and you're not just getting pulled into all these different calls all day. You can stay in that strategy zone. You can stay in that discovery call zone. You can stay in the coaching zone. And it actually helps you prepare for your days much better. Okay. Next up is those buffer times. And I'm going to give you this advice: set them at least 15 minutes between your calls. Okay. And sometimes, depending on the call, we will put 30 minutes in there. Why? Because we may be like just in the nitty gritty of the discovery call, and we're like, man, I needed 10 more minutes or 20 more minutes. And you get into some good conversation. So based on the kind of call that you are doing, then just have those buffer times. It does not mean that's what's scheduled out with that client. So for example, because a lot of people don't understand this. For example, if I did a 15-minute discovery call and I buffered it 15 minutes, The actual lead would only see the 15 minutes on their calendar. I would see the 30, the 15 and 15. So on their end, it still looks like a 15-minute call. On our end, we have some wiggle room. Okay. This is going to give you that breathing room so you can take notes from the last call. If the call like goes over, maybe grab water. If you have zero buffer, you're like, I have a hard stop, and you might be right there ready to close them. And you're like, I wish I didn't have this hard stop. Okay. Trust me on this one. All right. All right. Next up, we have our calendar sync. You want to connect your Google Calendar, your Outlook, wherever you put all of your appointments. This is a non-negotiable. You need GHL to see your personal calendar so it doesn't double book you. It takes about 2 minutes or less to set this up, and it's going to save you so many headaches. All right. Now, here's where it gets really good. Is the next part of the calendar setup is your forms. And you want to collect custom information using custom form questions. Okay. So when somebody goes to book your call with you, you're not just going to collect their name and email. That gives you nothing. Well, it gives you something very valuable stuff, but you want more. You want to ask qualifying questions. So, like, if it's a discovery call, we'll ask, what's your business? What's your biggest challenge right now? What are you hoping to get out of this call? Right? What questions do you need to ask? Simple, right? No friction here, but some simple questions you need to ask to help yourself prepare for the call, to qualify them, right? So that does two things. It pre-qualifies the lead so you know who you're talking to before they even get on the call. And the other thing it does is there's this sneaky benefit to it, right? It creates an investment. When somebody takes the time to fill out thoughtful answers, guess what? They're more committed. They're more likely to show up. That's psychology 101. The more effort somebody puts in, the more value the outcome has, right? And the last piece of the booking page is the confirmation redirect. When somebody books, don't just send them to a generic thanks you're booked page, right? That just says some words. So like kindergarten. I want you to redirect them to a custom confirmation page that has a short video. It can be like 30 to 90 seconds. It's of you introducing yourself, telling them what to expect on the call, maybe asking them to do one small thing to prepare, right? This video is going to do more for your show up rate than any reminder will, because now they've seen your face, they've heard your voice, you're no longer a stranger, and you're a real person they feel connected to. And people don't just ghost people they feel connected to. All right. So that's just setting up the calendar. That's the first part. Now, the second part, the build phase number 2 here is your automation sequence. All right. So this one here is a big one. This is where 90% of businesses drop the ball. They've got the calendar set up. People are booking. In between the booking and the actual call, there's like radio silence, nothing but crickets. Maybe the Google Calendar is reminding them, very minimal. There's nothing branded. There's nothing like customized, right? So we're going to fix that with a simple 5-touch automation system. Okay. I want you to hear that 5 touches. And before you panic, this is something you set up once, one time, and then it runs forever. Every single person who books a call will go through the same sequence automatically. So it's a no-brainer, right? So let's go through each one of these touches. Touch number 1, if you got a pen and paper, write these things down, okay? Touch number 1 is your confirmation email. This is going to fire immediately after somebody books. Not 10 minutes later, immediately. Not an hour later, immediately. Why? Because somebody books is the moment they're most engaged, they're most excited. They just took action. Their attention is on you right now. Hit them immediately. This email is going to confirm the date, the time, and what to expect. Keep it short, include a link to add it to their calendar. And if you've got a confirmation video, like I mentioned above, I want you to link that there as well so they can go back over to that confirmation. All right. Touch number 2 is an SMS confirmation. This kind of goes hand in hand with the email. This goes out right after the email. Same information, just much shorter, okay? This goes straight out, like something like this, right? It's, hey, Susie, you're confirmed for date and time, whatever the date and time is. Your Zoom link, right? Here's your Zoom link. Reply yes to confirm. That reply creates another micro commitment. They say yes. Now they feel obligated to follow through. Okay. Touch there. Little tip. All right. Touch number 3 here is 24-hour reminder. Okay. The day before the call, they're going to get another reminder from you. This is an email or a text. And sometimes we like to use both. I like text for this one more, but I also still send an email because why not? Right. And just remember, text open rates are like 98%, where emails more like 60% for something like this. Okay. So we're going to have more eyeballs on a text. And that's why I usually pair them together. But a text is really good here. So about 24 hours before the call, we're going to say, hey, Susie, just a reminder, you've got a call tomorrow at 2 p.m. Here's your link. See you there. All right. That's touch number 3. Touch number 4 is 2-hour reminder. This is a clutch one. All right. I really want you to make sure this one's locked in. 2 hours before the call, you're going to send another text. Hey, Susie, we're 2 hours out. Looking forward to chatting. Here's your Zoom link one more time. This catches people who got busy, who were about to no-show on you. And this one text alone will save you 2 to 3 calls a week. I guarantee it. Every single time. Okay. The 5th touch here is a pre-call content. And I want you to write this one down. It's somewhere between when they book the booking of the call and the 24-hour reminder. So based on, when that you want that to happen, it really depends on your how many days that you allow them to book in advance. We like a 1 day, maybe a 2 day. So like somebody wouldn't be able to book on my calendar. If today's Monday, they wouldn't be able to see any openings until Wednesday. So that gives me a little bit of room to then not have my calendar like slammed and me not realize it got slammed, right? So you're going to put this piece of content somewhere in there. We like to do it about, so if they book and then we have that 24-hour reminder one, I usually set this one at 36 to not quite 48 because sometimes it's not there. So it's like between that 48 hour and that 36, I'll throw this email in there. And this is an email that I do. It's a short video or just content that makes sense to the call, where it's like a case study, what to expect, what to prepare for, what to have if the call needs them to have some things for them. This is simply something that's going to warm them up, builds the credibility with you and them, and gets them excited about the conversation that you guys are going to have. And so now I want to look on the CRM side of things, right? That was all the build 1 and 2. That was the calendar and that was the automations. Now I want to look on the CRM side. So when somebody books, you also want to move them in what is called a pipeline, or maybe it's called opportunities in your GHL. And when a lead comes in, you should have an automation that puts them on a lead pipeline. And so it's like new lead. And then when they book a call, you want that automation to move them to call booked. So now you can look at the stages of a lead and go, oh my gosh, I have 12 people sitting in the call book. This is amazing. Or I have 200 leads and nobody in the book call. I better get to work and get some book calls, right? This is going to help keep your pipeline clean and lets you see at a glance how many calls are coming up, how many you need to need to get my button in gear here, right? And this is all inside GHL. This is just a workflow action. People are like, how do I do this? When an appointment is booked, move to this pipeline state. Done. It's simple. And here's the part nobody talks about, okay? The no-show recovery sequence. When somebody no-shows you, setting up this recovery sequence is so amazing, because even with 5 touches, some people will still miss. Life happens. So when somebody no-shows, you are going to go into the CRM on that contact and you're just going to mark that as a no-show. When that happens, you have triggered a 3-message recovery sequence for over 48 hours. Okay. So I want you to write these down. So if somebody no-shows, you're going to move them to a no-show, and then this is going to trigger the automation for a recovery. Message number 1 is about 30 minutes after the missed call. Hey, Susie, I had us down for a call today and it looks like we missed each other. No worries. Here's the link to rebook when you're ready. It's friendly. There's no guilt, right? Message number 2 is the next day. So 24 hours after they no-showed on you. Hey, Susie, just circling back. I know things come up. If you're still interested in whatever the call was about, here's the link to grab a new spot. Spots fill up fast So easy. Message number 3 is 48 hours after the no-show. This is your final touch for this recovery sequence. Last message on this. Didn't want to keep bugging you. If the timing isn't right, totally understand. If it is, here's the link one more time. Put the link in there. Hope to chat soon. These 3 message sequence alone will recover approximately 20 to 30% of your no-shows. Crazy, right? That is money that was already gone and now it's back on your calendar. Like, you must get these things done. Why are people not doing these, right? And so build number 3 I want to talk to you about is the disconnected CRM problem. This is huge, right? Now I have to address this because this is one of the root causes of most of these issues. And it's simple, right? Your booking tool and your CRM are not in the same system. You have your booking tool over here and your CRM over here. If you're using Calendly for booking and MailChimp for emails, your phone for your text messages, and a spreadsheet for tracking your leads, you have a disconnected hot mess express of a text tag, and it's costing you more than you think, okay? So every time somebody books, you have to manually enter them somewhere. Every time you want to send a reminder, you have to send the reminder to it. Every time you want to know where a lead is in your pipeline, you got to open up 3 different apps trying to piece it all together, right? I want to tell you about a client we have, Tammy, who was paying for 4 separate tools to do what GoHighLevel does in one. She had a separate calendar tool, she had separate email tools, she had a separate CRM, and a separate texting platform. She was spending over $3,000 a year on tools that didn't talk to each other. And she was still doing half of the work, more than half the work, manually. So she migrated everything into GHL in one weekend, not within 2 weeks or within 30 days, but within one weekend. And within 2 weeks of that migration, her no-show rate dropped by half. Not because she had better leads, but because for the first time, her booking, her follow-up, her reminders, her CRM were all in one place, all automated, all running without her, all connected. That is a big difference. So when your booking tool and your CRM live in the same system, everything can be automated. Booking triggers follow-up, follow-up triggers the pipeline, right? The pipeline updates the trigger tasks and assignments to your team. No-show triggers recovery sequence. It's all connected. It's all automatic. So when everything is separate, you, my friend, are the connection. You are the integration, and you're really expensive, really inconsistent integration. Just saying, I used to be you. So if nothing else from today's episode, I want you to hear me on this. Absolutely stop duct taping your tools together. Get your calendar, your CRM, your automations, and your communication in one system. That alone will change your business. So let me put some numbers on this because I know some of you are listening and thinking, Natasha, is this really that serious? Yes, it is. The average no-show rate for businesses without a reminder system is 20 to 30%. Huge. That means for every 10 calls you book, 2 to 3 people don't show up. And that's wasting your time, my friend. Now let's say you're booking 20 calls a month. At a 25% no-show rate, that's 5 calls that don't happen. 5. If even one of those calls would have converted to a sale, and your average sale is $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, you do the math. That's not a small problem. That's a big, expensive, reoccurring problem, right? And it's happening every single month. Now, with a proper system that we just discussed, right? We just discussed it. The kind we just built today, a confirmation, an SMS, a 24-hour reminder, a 2-hour reminder, a pre-call content, your no-show follow-up rate drops under 10%. We've seen it go as low as 5% or lower for some of our clients, okay? So on those same 20 calls, you go from 5 no-shows to 1, maybe 0. That's 4 more conversations every single month, 4 more chances to close, 4 more people who actually get the help. And here's the kicker. The system costs you nothing extra in time once it's built. 0. It runs while you sleep. It runs while you're on other calls. It runs while you're living your life, right? So you don't have a lead problem. You have a show up problem. And your show up problem, it's a system problem. And systems, my friend, those can be fixed. So let's land this plane for you, all right? Here's what we covered today. One, your booking page is not just a link. It's the first impression of your business. Custom questions, buffer times, calendar syncing, and a redirect confirmation page with a video. That is the foundation, right? Set yourself at that standard. The second thing that we talked about was between the booking call and between booking and the call. There should be 5 automated touches. The confirmation email, the SMS confirmation, the 24-hour reminder, the 2-hour reminder, the pre-call content. Set it once and it runs forever. Magic, right? Third thing we talked about is if your booking tool and your CRM are in 2 different places, you're doing double the work and losing leads in that gap. You need one system, everything connected, everything automated. And now here is your homework. And I want you to do one thing after this episode, just one. I just want you to do one thing. Go look at your last 30 days of book calls. How many of those people got a reminder? A real automated reminder, not you texting them from your phone the morning of. If the answer is none of them, or some of them, or I'm not sure, that's your sign, okay? That's when you know you have a revenue leak. And that's what we need to fix. And if you're sitting here thinking, oh, Natasha, I get it, but how do I actually build this? Well, that's exactly what we do in our 5-day challenge. And I want to invite you to learn more about that, right? So in 5 days, we build things together live. And on day 2, we cover this exact thing, your leads and your client flow, your booking system, your follow-up, your automations. You're not watching a course. You're not figuring it out alone. We are working together. We're talking strategy. We're talking all the foundations. We're giving you all the copy prompting for getting your copy right. We're doing all of this together. This is not a theory, not a plan. It's a true working system for your business. And we do all of this in 5 days, right? And so I just want you to go check it out. I want you to grab your seat. And if you are serious and you're like, I know I need this, I know I need more than just this, I want you to grab the platinum ticket, okay? And so the link is down below in the show notes, but it's self-made.biz/challenge. Pretty simple. And like I said, I'm going to put it down in the show notes, but I would absolutely love to see you there. And listen, if today's episode helped you, share it with one person, just one. That business owner friend who you know is dealing with those no-shows. Screenshot this episode, share it with them, tag me, and send them the link, okay? That's how we grow this community, and that's how we help more people make the shift. So, all right, that's it for today. Like I said, my name is Natasha Roberson. This is The Digital Shift, and I cannot wait to see you in the challenge, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
If you're getting value from these conversations, don't let this be the only episode that you listen to. Every episode of this podcast is designed to help you build a smarter business, one with real systems behind the scenes, not just ideas, motivation, or hustle. We break down what's actually working right now when it comes to automation, content, follow-up, and scaling without the burnout. If you want to see how all of this comes together in real life, I highly recommend watching the Self-Made Hub demo. Inside the Self-Made Hub, you'll see how entrepreneurs turn content into leads and leads into conversations and conversations into consistent sales using simple automated systems that don't feel overwhelming or cold. You can watch the demo anytime at self-made.biz/demo. Then queue up another episode because the shift doesn't happen from one conversation. It happens when you start connecting all the dots. And I'll see you in the next episode.